we have the special episode where we discuss about monsoon, mayhem, or magic. So, what do you feel? Is rain magic or mayhem? So, today I'll start with what my thoughts and my memories are with rain. For me, it has always been both. So, when I close my eyes and I think about rain, it takes me back to Jamshedpur, where my childhood days were. The rainy season. It was just so full of celebrations and memories. Especially, I was fond of jamun, lychee, guavas, and that was the season where I enjoyed these uh, favorite fruit of mine. Brought so much joy because I used to go with my dad, and we used to love buying jamuns during this season, and that was one of my best thing during this time. And I used to go to my village, and we used to throw stones and gather a lot of guavas during this time. Very sweet, very nice, and such a beautiful memory to pluck fruits from trees and have. We had our own jamun tree as well there, and it was so memorable. And my twin sister and I used to, in my Jamshedpur house, we used to fold colorful paper boats and race them through the little streams of water outside our house, or the drain that carried water from our rooftop, which that became a tiny river for us, that it used to have water flowing, gushing through, because roof water used to come from that pipe and flow through that drain. And that was like a little, you say, river or whatever, that used to be our adventure sport during rainy season. And we had so much fun and memories playing that for hours and hours. And one of the things I used to remember with rain is like, I used to put buckets on the rooftop. They were like, it used to drizzle drop by drop, and every shower it used to pour in that bucket. Later, it was a fun game like, today how much the water is filled in the bucket. And that was a fun game of us for a long time. Like, we used to then either take bath with that fresh water, or used to do some household work with that. And that was such a memorable time where rain was simple and joy. But years later, when I came to Pune for college, rain had a very different personality for me. It was during those time, I had a very good experience with rain. It was very gentle. It used to always drizzle, and we never got soaked in rain. I don't remember during my college days that we got it was pouring heavily and I got drenched. It was drizzle was the most of the days. And when we used to walk back from college to the place where we used to take our transport, that was when we had our warm vada pav from college canteen. And me and my sister used to have a nice conversation during those times. Some deep conversation of what we want to do, what we like, and in general, the life and laughter and lot of conversations. And some of my friends used to join during those time, and we had a good long walk and had such a memorable time over those beautiful moments. But when it came to Mumbai and I got a job and I was placed there, rain was a different power. It was so unpredictable and powerful, sometimes very chaotic. Roads were flooded, there were traffic which was long traffic waits, and journey was which took just 10 minutes from my office to home used to take hours to reach. And surprisingly, I was, enjoying these delays as gifts, because instead of feeling frustrated, it happened very differently for me. We used to go in office cab, and a lot of people were there. Usually in Mumbai, life is rush, rush. But that was the time when it just forced us to slow down so that we can actually have good conversation. That is when I had good connect with people. We used to speak so much, know about different projects, know about people, what they are doing. And that's when I had beautiful connection and bond with many people during travel. It reminded me that, that relationships are very important than schedules. So that was something. I think it taught me patience. Mumbai rains taught me patience, that I never complained about it anywhere after that. And I got drenched many a times, so I always carried my umbrella, and I kept an extra pair of clothes in my office because I knew eventually either I will get be surprised by rain or someone will splash. So instead of feeling, oh no, it has spoiled my day, I was so prepared. I used to keep things already ready in my office, that okay, if this happens, I'll just go change. So no worries. Extra pair of shoes were also there. So I just sorted out things, how to deal when it rains heavily in those times in Mumbai. And I loved staring in front of the window, seeing the little raindrops and the fresh aroma of earth. That was something I used to literally smell like this and come, ah, such a beautiful smell. That way I used to do. And my mom used to say, what are you doing? I'm like, I love this smell. I love this smell. That's what I used to do. It felt so fresh, and it gave me a sense of being grounded. No matter what, it gave a very, very deep peace, and I always connected with it. So I can spend hours sitting in the window side and see raindrops, because it is magic to me. And that's how it has been, because when I felt upset, I felt low, it just even if you look at it, brings in so much strength that you will feel the power, that yes, if nature has so much strength that it can maintain a balance, or it can destroy a place. It shows, if you change your way of seeing things, it will either bring balance or it will destroy life. That's how it taught me, that how we can slow down, observe, and appreciate what we have in life, rather than just focusing on what things are going wrong, will again pull more things which will go wrong. So, like rain, it brings happiness, it helps in harvesting, it has so many good things to look at. It is a blessing. But when nature is like angry on us because we haven't taken care of nature, that is when we see floods, we see a lot of loss and landslides, and things go wrong, right? So it has both the powers, and so we do have. So we have both the powers as humans. So that's a promise to us, that whether we will maintain that balance in our lives also. So every rainbow is for me like that gate of hope, because I'm a person who loves chasing rainbows, and sure, who are you know like me will get the feeling wherever there is a rainbow, I'll pick a camera and I'll say, oh, there is a rainbow here. And I will be so joyful like a child, that I feel these are gates of heaven. That is a ray of hope. And that's what rainbows are to me, a promise that after every storm, it's there, somewhere in between, very powerful and very magical. So standing beneath it only feels that there are gates of hope, and there is so much to learn from nature. So this is how rain was for me. Lot of learnings, lot of things along my journey, and I feel that those childhood laughter, the little talks which I had with my father buying the jamuns, with my sister walking with warm vada pav in hand, and those conversations in the office cab, in traffic, the patience, reflection, and a calm healing looking at it, giving me hope through rainbows. That's what rain is for me. Very simply, it is both. It is blessing, it is magic, it is as well as it is mayhem. When it is long traffic waits, like I had to once, got so delayed by reaching home that I almost took 2.5 hours. That's where it feels a pinch as well. But overall, it's a beautiful memory as rain and monsoon. So, monsoon is both for me. It has shaped me and has been part of my life. So, over to you, Dr. Siddharth. So, over to you, Dr. Geeta. Please provide uh, your perspective on monsoon.
Thank you, Shritapa. Some people wait for the rain to stop. Others learn to dance in it. Perhaps that is the best way to describe our relationship with the monsoon. Do you all agree? So today, as I talk about monsoon magic or mayhem, I also realize that news channels are filled with images of overflowing rivers, landslides, flooded homes, stranded families, and people struggling to get back to work. Lot of destruction, people leaving people anxious and exhausted. And elsewhere also, life continues as usual, with gentle showers bringing relief from the summer heat. So there is both magic and mayhem that is happening. And the same rain tells very different stories in each life. For me, however, the monsoon has always been wrapped in nostalgia. I come from the beautiful hilly district of Kodagu, where rain isn't just a season, it is a way of life. Every year, as children, we eagerly awaited the monsoon, not because of just the cool weather, because at that time, for 2 weeks, the schools closed for monsoon vacation. And those holidays were magical. Our home stood atop a small hill where the quarters were situated, and my father worked in Madikeri, in that place. During rains, tiny waterfalls appeared magically everywhere. The fields filled with water and the grounds also, like a small pond, and water rushed through the ditches, and then they flowed down the winding roads in tiny waterfalls. And before the vacation started, and as we trudged home, we never forgot to splash to a heart's content in the small streams, completely drenched, just kicking and laughing and splashing and screaming, soaking ourselves completely. We knew because once we got home, parents would never allow us outside. And that was a moment of freedom, complete freedom in itself. And another memory that I treasure the most is the early morning walks with my dad. Rain or shine, my dad would go for his early morning walk. And during the monsoon, he would wear his raincoat and he would help me and my little sister to wear ours. And then we would walk maybe 2 or 3 kilometers through that misty landscape. And looking back, I realize those walks were never just walks. Without planning it, my dad would share life lessons and we would learn about kindness, generosity, honesty, gratitude. And the rain became our quiet companion. And enclosed within that raincoat, surrounded by the mist and the earthy fragrance, the petrichor, it felt like we were inside our own little small bubble. And it is something that I always cherish. And rain also has a remarkable way, right, of slowing us down and connecting us to our own selves and making us to notice what truly matters. And perhaps that is why so many writers have been inspired by the rains. And in Arundhati Roy's, especially the God of Small Things, Kerala Monsoon is a character in itself. Powerful, mysterious, and capable of changing the lives of forever, lives of the characters forever, lives of people forever. Rain has that extraordinary ability to to bring us our, to awaken our memories and emotions hidden deep within us. We feel as if Earth, the nature itself, is one with us. And I know that my memories are shaped by privilege and geography. Not everybody would be having those magical memories of rain because in those places where there is poor drainage, crumbling infrastructure, flooded roads, delayed trains, and congested traffic due to rain, and collapsing homes, where people are struggling to for their livelihood. Then every rainy day is a struggle. Farmers pray for rain, but excess of it is catastrophic for them. And families living in vulnerable areas, they'll watch the sky with, with trepidation instead of anticipation. The same clouds that brings life can also bring loss, right? So back in Kodagu, rain remains the heartbeat of the land, and I know that the forests wait for the rain to come. Coffee plantations drink plenty of drink deeply of the rain through the season, and as coffee growers, we understand that monsoon is not just welcome; it is essential, nourishing the soil, nourishing our souls, and reminding us of the extraordinary generosity of nature. So when I think of monsoon today, I not only remember the rain, I remember childhood laughter echoing across the hills, the games of tag and hide and seek, the tiny waterfalls, mist-covered roads, and those precious conversations with my dad that continues to guide me even today. So is monsoon magic or mayhem? You viewers have to answer. Perhaps it is both. And it reminds us of the magnificence of nature. And I today leave you with these beautiful words by Rabindranath Tagore. Clouds come floating into my life, no longer to carry rain or usher storm, but to add color to my sunset sky. So until next time, may you always find the magic hidden even in life's stormiest seasons.
A joyful topic today. We are all talking about monsoon and one of the seasons in the year, but I feel it's a season of life as well. My story I would like to talk about in four different parts because I've seen monsoon in many different ways. But let me start with my childhood. Like both of the authors were talking about, monsoon, whenever it used to come in my childhood, I used to remember like playing with water, puddles. Uh, um, our school was near a canal which got over flooded when during monsoons, and it was amazing to wear those raincoats and jump on the water while we used to come out of the school closure part. So we used to jump and splurge water on each other, and it was amazing experience. Then there were some areas where water used to like get stored, and there were tadpoles. We used to play with them. Sometimes we even carried few tadpoles to home. So all those naughty things I can remember when I'm remembering my childhood. The other thing we used to do was push our friends into water so that they can feel it. Even I have been pushed up many a times to just feel that it was dirty water, but then it was water. And then playing in rains was always very interesting a thing to do. Though I had my raincoats, but I remember I have lost almost 9 to 10 raincoats just because I didn't carry them when the rains happened. And I lost them and kept it somewhere, and maybe it got flooded away in the rains. But I have lost. I remember 9 to 10 raincoats in this. Umbrellas were never my friends. Always, whenever I think earlier Shitaba was telling that she used to keep extra umbrella. My umbrellas were always lost. So mom was always angry that I'm losing my umbrellas. She left giving me umbrellas. So I used to borrow umbrellas at some point of time, but never very good with umbrellas in my childhood. While growing up, I feel the second phase where this love was like overflowing and I loved rains. The other reason during childhood was that my father, being a mining engineer, used to get his vacation during monsoon. We used to come from so we used to live in Dehradun, and then from there we used to travel to Kolkata during the monsoon times. And monsoon was a time when you used to get, as a Bengali, we love fish. So Ilsa is a favorite fish we used to get during this time. Even while we are talking, recording this, today I'm going to have Ilsa. So it just reminds me of this. My grandma's place was full of fishes. I mean, there were lakes. So, sorry, these ponds where we would go fishing and we would catch fishes. There were ducks, swans, all that, playing with them. So it was really fun while I was growing up. During my college, the second part of it, rains were like thunders because we did whenever I was doing engineering, um, our classes were missed out because of rains. Nobody was there in the class because it was raining, and those were the times we used to do addas. Addas like gossips, gossip. We would miss a class, and but we will not miss the gossip. So rains were like that. Thunderstorms, and thunderstorms leading to gossips, and we used to love that. When I reached my third phase of work, I never knew that I was actually carrying rains because somehow over a period of time, the four seasons, it is like one of the season monsoon, but wherever I was traveling, I was carrying rain with me. So I don't know whether it was summer, winter, whatever season it was. I was carrying rain with me, and that is one of the books I have written also, Petri Chore, which is talks about me carrying rains everywhere. So even I carried rain to outside India, and seasons which were not rainy seasons, I was carrying rains. Now that in my childhood, I had no friendship with umbrellas. In while I grew up, I started having that extra bond with my umbrella. And there was one umbrella, I still have it, though it is torn now. It's a red umbrella which was my favorite. It was a small one, every time handy. UK, I have stayed in UK as well. UK is known for rains. So anytime it will rain. So that has saved me many a times getting into these situations. So, but that was the difference, I was not liking rain. For the first time, during this period, I was not liking rain because wherever I was going, I was bringing rain, and many a times I have got drenched. And getting drenched while you are working is not that fun part like in childhood. So, yeah, I started hating rains at that point of time. But also, I have realized over a period of time that rain loves me, and there have been situations where um, I just have to catch a flight, I have just to catch a train, and I'm like 5 or 10 minutes away from the airport or the station, and it rains so heavily that my I'm missing my flight, I'm missing my train, and those are been the situations where I have missed so many things just because of rains. So my work life has not been really nice with the rain. So it is more of a mayhem than magic. Childhood has been magic, and now when I look at rains, I feel like they should keep happening because they bring balance, and now it is happening like anytime. I think because of climate changes, rains are like anytime. They are not strictly prohibited to that monsoon period. Floods and road filling with water. A lot of challenges with cities where I live now, Kolkata. I feel rains are not maybe taken care properly by the administration, but then you still love it because it is somehow telling us that there is something going wrong and we need to take care of that. So the balance is where I feel rains, remind us again and again. Nature has a way of reminding us, and I feel rains for me now are that. So writing poems on rains is like beautiful. I can stay at my home, look at the rains, have pakoda, chai, samosa, and write poetry on rains. So that is what rains is now for me, full of creativity, I would say, because now I love rains again. That's it from my side. So I'll give it to Sujata to share her insights on monsoon and mayhem or magic. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Siddharth. Listening to you, so many things resonated with me. I also strongly feel, in fact, that rain is magic. Of course, the mayhem part is there. I won't deny that because I've seen it also. I've seen when the rains arrive, we see flooded roads, traffic jams, delayed trains, and people struggling to get to work. I've also faced. And the social medias, the news channels, they are all full of pictures of waterlogged streets and endless complaints. In fact, I know I've rung up my son in Mumbai. What happened? I heard that there's a lot of rain where you stay nearby. He said, no. So it's the media which is sort of portraying, but it's not the same everywhere. In big cities, some pockets are affected and not all. Now, I want to ask you that, does the rain deserve all the blame? Rain has been falling for millions of years. It's simply nature doing its job. But much of the chaos that we witness is the result of poor planning, clogged drains, and unchecked urbanization. With better preparation before the monsoon, a great deal of this so-called mayhem could be avoided. For me, the arrival of the monsoon is nothing short of magical. And let me tell you, it's still very hot where I am, and I'm just waiting for good rain. We are getting a few showers now and then, but that's hardly anything. I'm just looking forward to it. Let the rain gods bless us. I want the air to become cool, the dust to settle, the trees again look nice and green, and the fragrance of the wet earth. I simply love that. And that's why I think the monsoon has inspired so many writers, and so many unforgettable stories begin with the rain. When I think of rainy afternoons, you know what I'm looking forward to, I find myself reaching for Ruskin Bond, a story like Rain in the Mountains, a steaming cup of chai, and old Savan melodies, and rain tapping gently on the window. That to me is one of life's simplest luxuries. Those rains also give us another unforgettable sight. Peacocks spreading their magnificent feathers and dancing with complete abandon. As children, we would stop whatever we were doing, just to stand and watch them. Perhaps the peacocks understand what we forget. The rain isn't just a weather, it's a celebration to dance. The monsoon also brings back more wonderful memories. About 20 years ago, the rainy season had an excitement of its own. There were days when students, and I must admit, even teachers, would eagerly ask me, ma'am, do you think tomorrow will be a rainy day holiday? We followed every weather forecast and update from the district administration. And when a rainy day holiday was announced, it brought as much excitement as any festival. Yesterday only, I was talking to my granddaughter on phone. So I asked her, "Did you have a rainy day holiday?" With a fallen face, she replied, "Yes, we did have. But our teacher called us on Saturday." I was filled with, maybe I too had done that sometime uh, when I was in my job. So, and another of my favorite monsoon memories is connected with Kota Dam. Whenever the rains are particularly heavy, the River swells up, and the gates of the dam would be opened to release the excess water. And sometimes, all the gates would be open, the whole dam would, like, we would feel that it's quivering. And opening the dam gates became an event in itself. Hundreds of people, families, photographers, curious children, all would gather to witness the sheer power of nature. And I was always one of them, standing there feeling the cool mist on my face, watching the foaming waters thunder through the open gates. I was filled with awe. I was humbled because this it was impossible not to feel it. I realized that the same rains which invites us to sing Rim Jim Gire Savan can also command our deepest respect. Perhaps that is the paradox of the monsoon. It is gentle enough to inspire poetry and powerful enough to rewrite whole landscapes. While writing my novel, Entangled Destinies, I revisited the Kedarnath tragedy through the eyes of my protagonist, Ria. Researching those events taught me that nature is neither cruel nor kind. It simply follows its own laws. Our responsibility is to respect it, prepare for it, and never underestimate its power. That experience changed the way I looked at the monsoons. I no longer saw it as merely beautiful, but as a force to be admired and respected. Perhaps that's where the real magic lies. And once you've learned that lesson, you can truly enjoy the monsoon. It draws us outdoors after months of sweltering heat, dry hills turn lush green, seasonal waterfalls you see everywhere, and it seems that the whole landscape has been reborn. And it's a time for picnics from all my, different institutions with which I'm attached. I get calls, coming for a picnic, coming for a picnic. And of course, uh, I always look forward to those picnics in the rains, sharing simple food with family, friends, watching children splashing. And of course, the administration, cautions visitors not to venture too close to slippery rocks. There are many near my city, and overflowing streams. Unfortunately, youthful enthusiasm gets the better of it. And the monsoon is generous with its beauty, but it also expects us to enjoy it responsibly. So, is the monsoon mayhem or magic? Perhaps it is both. It becomes mayhem when we fail to respect nature and prepare for it. But it remains magic when we pause to hear the rain, watch the peacock dance, read a Ruskin Bond story, or simply savor a cup of chai by the window. Perhaps every season has its own bookshelf. Summer calls for adventure. Winter, you sit inside and just reflect quietly. But the monsoon calls for stories, stories that remind us to slow down, marvel at nature, appreciate life's simplest pleasures. And I'll always choose magic. And now I would like to hear from you, Jasmeet. Are you team mayhem or team magic? What are your favorite monsoon memories? Over to you, Jasmeet.
Thank you, Sujata. Monsoon, the word itself, brings back memories for all of us. I think monsoons, the perspective changes with time and age and seasons. As a child, monsoons have their own charm, and I can see that all of us have shared our childhood memories. It brings back nostalgia, and all these feelings of warmth and happiness in spite of getting wet in that age. the whole feeling, the heart, the way the heart starts fluttering with these emotions. I believe that as time goes by, depending on what part of life you're going through, your perspective changes. So obviously, when you're a child, the whole idea of the first monsoon, the new umbrella, matching your umbrella with your friends, or getting some really wonderful cartoons on your umbrellas, and then trying to show off, the first monsoon when all your friends come together. And I stay close to Marine Drive, which is a seashore. And we had this yearly ritual. The first monsoon, all of us, whatever time of the day, we take our umbrellas and we go to Marine Drive. And the rains, irrespective of the fact that it used to be pouring and we would get drenched to our skin, the umbrellas really didn't serve any purpose. The idea was just to tell our parents that, oh yeah, we're carrying something to safeguard ourselves. But honestly, there was no value, because with the strong winds and the breeze, the umbrellas would upturn and get broken, and we would come back with damaged umbrellas. But the whole idea of seeing the sea roar and the waves, and the rain pouring all around, it was a magic by itself. And as time passed by, then during school days, the whole thing, when you wake up in the morning and you pray, you keep praying, I wish it starts raining, I wish it starts raining. The whole idea that you get to miss school because there is it's like pouring and it's heavy rains, and the roads will get jammed, and people are traveling from distances. That whole feeling, that's the way you start your monsoon. And then the real sad part happens is when it's still sunny and you don't have a choice and you have to go to school. So all these things, as you grow older, you lose this magical sense that you have within you, that feeling of happiness. Somehow you start facing reality, because as an adult you have responsibilities. And as you grow older, and you realize that monsoons are definitely magical, but with the way the infrastructure has become, especially in a city like Mumbai, uh, it's sad that in spite of so much of construction, so much of infrastructure, so much of improvement, monsoons are still creating a lot of mayhem. I would like to also bring back the story of 26/7. Anyone who is from Mumbai knows what a disaster that day was. The kind of calamity that it brought to Mumbai, the catastrophe that it caused, so many people lost their lives. And it was like almost 940 millimeters of rainfall continuously happening over more than 48 hours at a stretch. And 26/7 is a memory that no Mumbaikar can ever forget. People were stuck in wading through water, where cars sank. People got stuck inside the cars. They could not unlock themselves and rescue themselves. Low-lying areas were flooded. The trains shut down. The buses got stuck. Even double-decker buses, they had water almost till the first level. That kind of water got logged, and that kind of havoc it created that day. And I remember, this is around 20 years ago, and it was on when I was just newly married, and my husband, he was working in an area which was far away from home. And the news channels were talking about the rains, and he left from office because obviously there was a warning that the rainfall is very heavy. And what would have taken him 45 minutes to reach home, it took him almost 2 hours. And in spite of that, he was stuck halfway, and he had to walk through waist deep water. And fortunately, my uncle's house was close by, so he stayed overnight over there, and he got saved. He was like, even in the double decker, the double decker bus that he boarded, because the trains had shut down, the water was seeping inside, and it was scary because after some time the water would submerge the entire bus, and a whole city came to a complete standstill. And the administration failed miserably in managing to protect people's lives. And 20 years down the line, I don't see much of a change, because last week itself we had heavy rains, and we had this similar situation. Obviously, we didn't have so much of calamity. Things have slightly improved, but yeah, there is no respite to these problems, and people are still facing the same issues. We still had a whole building fall down in an area called Mankhurd. People are still losing lives. So it's actually, if the perspective is from the point of view of what age you are, a child will still find monsoons magical. An adult, because of the realities that they have to face and they have to venture out in the world, their perspective is different. I mean, we had colleges and schools shut down last week so that children would be safe. But then what about the adults? I mean, there was news all over media that if anything happens to the parents, who will take care of those children? I mean, it has to be justified that how come adults don't have that liberty to be able to take a day off because of the situation and the infrastructure being affected so seriously. And obviously, private firms were asked to expect their employees to work from home, but all organizations cannot do that. And considering all this, sometimes I wonder that how are we going to change the situation and make monsoons magical again? That is an effort we all have to put in. We all have to be more, aware of nature, respect nature, and stop, spreading dirt around, and making it difficult for the administration to clean up the roads, and the entire drainage system is getting clogged up. The use of plastic has been banned, and we have to be more aware of these things, because at the end of the day, something which we cherish and we are so nostalgic about, we have to give the same opportunity to our children and to the future generations, so that they can also think that monsoons are magical and they are not a mayhem. Because as time goes by, things should improve and not deteriorate. And I hope that we all can do something to work towards this. So yeah, that's my take on monsoons. I feel it's a perspective, and depending on what you face in life and what you experience, they can either be magical or it can be a mayhem. So that's my take on this. Thank you. And I hand it over to Shritapa to conclude today's session.
Thank you, Jasbir. And that was a beautiful perspective that rains is different. It brings in different perspective in different phase of life, and with several memories from all our childhood, we must have definitely loved rains. But then it also has its mahim because of the infrastructure or because of how we have dealt with environment and nature in general. So, with this, I am sure you must have been flooded with your childhood memories and the mahim which rain has brought to your life. Do mention in the comments. We will love to hear your monsoon stories. So, with this, I conclude our today's special episode. Tata, bye bye, take care, and don't forget to subscribe the channel if you love listening to us. Thank you.